everyone, it's Empress Coco. So I just meditated, and the energy that I received is that you want to fly, but you haven't acquired your wings yet. You can only swim, and I think you know that too. But like, you want to receive your wings, and you have to work for them. You have to work hard for them, and it takes time, and it's a process. There are levels to this, and you have to understand that just like everyone else, you have to go through the same steps, the same levels, and you're being guided. And so the creator is extending their hand out to you. You need to extend your hand out too as well. Reach for the creator's hand, accept the help, the guidance, accept the journey, accept the process, accept what you can't change. So acceptance, understanding, wisdom. Talk to me about the energy of the collective. What is in the collective's energy? Abundance is here. Good things are coming. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so you have opportunities. You have opportunities with success, with abundance. You have the opportunity to create, to acquire more, but there's some type of like delay or instability. Something isn't thoroughly being seen or approached or analyzed when it comes to assets, when it comes to money, okay? You might need to slow down. Maybe you're trying to do too much at once. Maybe this is what you have your eye on. Stop being too defensive. You have to keep working. You have to keep working hard. And no matter what, that is just what it is. You're gonna have to keep working. And you know, you're almost there, but that doesn't mean that you get to be lazy or slow down too much or take your foot off the gas, right? That doesn't really mean that. Slow down, just slow down and actually see what you're doing, see how you're moving, actually see in real time the work that you're putting in. Collective's energy, talk to me. You're stubborn. You don't want to give up, but you keep doing something wrong. And in the end, that's still giving up anyways, because you pretty much haven't realized that something isn't working out a certain way that you thought it would go or that you expected to. And if something isn't going that certain way that you expected, and if you realize that, what have you changed? Because not giving up would be figuring out a solution. Not giving up would be figuring out the in and out and all type of fucking ways that the situation can go, the way that shit can work and be. Don't give up. And some type of insecurities. I think you think you're insecure about how you would be seen if you did make a certain move when it comes to money, or if you change something. Maybe if you went actually for your dreams. Maybe if you actually went for what you're supposed to do. Maybe people are going to get on you about how it's not enough money, how you're not handling shit enough, or it's not going to do this, or it's not going to help anybody. But like, what if that helps you? And what if you keep trapping yourself because you keep wanting money, but you're not thinking as far as what you can handle, the passion that goes into it, the resources, the anything, the stamina. If you don't even want to be a part of the matrix, and you keep finding careers that literally revolve around the fucking matrix, what the fuck? You gave up on your dream. You gave up on your purpose. You gave up on where you were supposed to go. Maybe you actually being in that field for the matrix, by the matrix, okay? Maybe you being in that field was supposed to open your eyes and teach you and show you that that's not where you're supposed to go. That's not where you're supposed to be. That's not the rest of your life. That's not your forever. You're supposed to get away from that. But have you not gotten that deep with yourself yet? Have you not spent enough time with yourself to fucking hear that, know that, feel that? Are you avoiding something about yourself, within yourself? Insecure. Is it not going to be enough? Yeah, you feel like you're not, and you feel like you're not going to be able to see like things. You're not going to see growth. You think you're not going to see the money. You think you're not going to see the excitement, the success. You think you're not going to see all the hard work you put in. It's something about what you put in, you want an investment. You want something to come from that. What if you just are supposed to just put it in and not see anything in return? What if that's the lesson here? You're steady looking for something in return. Also, you think you could see it and it's supposed to be so tangible. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can't see it. Maybe the reward or the reaping of any harvest is it's not physical. And what if you just can't see it? It could be much more than that. The reward for something could be way more, you know? Talk to me about Ace of Pentacles. Collective energy. Ace of Pentacles, collective energy. I'm hearing being mindful of what you do and how it does affect other people, but that's not to create an insecurity. That is to realize how connected you are to other people and your placement in other people's lives. You don't know how much you are needed in the next person's life. And if someone feels so affected by a personal decision that's for yourself, for you, that is about your happiness, literally has nothing to do with them, that will show you how the next person can heavily rely on your energy and your vibrations, your frequency. Like whatever you do in your life, they're affected by it, even if they literally have nothing to fucking be affected by or do with their life. So keep that in mind. Mindful. Too many cards. Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that was nice. You're inspired. You have some ideas. When it comes to leveling up with opportunities and money, you're ambitious. Okay, but you know, where is the ambition coming from? What state of mind are you in? What path are you on? What are your desires? very free-spirited, when it comes to obtaining or opportunities or wanting. Exploration is here. You need to change your perspective when it comes to work, like with working. You need to see working as in a way where people may be working for you, not you working for the next. Also, I feel like you need to choose work that is going to light you up here. Would you rather have 2 jobs slaving and draining you, and you just can't fucking, oh my gosh, you aren't living? Or would you rather have 2 jobs? Yeah, you still have to put in the hard work, but it's more tailored to what lights you up, what talks to you, talks to your soul, your spirit. It's a part of you being free. And it takes 0 work or effort out of you throughout the day because you don't mind doing it, because it aligns with your interest and your passion. So I feel like that's something that you need to consider here. You need to consider you, your talent, your gifts, your skills, you, and how you can express yourself in career. And career does not always have to be, I want the most money, okay? Because that's also it's not what's gonna allow you to live. You can have all the money in the world from your job, but it's so demanding that you can't actually do anything with that money. There's no freedom. You can't leave anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You can't do shit. You can barely have days off. It's just basically you need to start choosing in favor of yourself. Choose you first. Because while you're doing everything for anyone else, or by anyone else, or because you're insecure, because you're afraid, or because you feel like you're not going to receive the same outcome, you're just limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself. You are cutting yourself off. You're going to want to give up. You're going to be exhausted. It's going to exhaust you, okay? And you are exhausted, especially with money, trying to figure it out, trying to find ways, trying to level up. You want more. Your monthly income, you want more. You want more coming in than's going out. But you doubt yourself. You're trying to manifest, but at the same time, you're saying, fuck the manifestation. So, talk to me. You need to take control of your story. Your story. This is your story. This is your life. Take control of it. Okay? You have fucking resources. Use them at your disposal. Okay? You need to start thinking of how you can be a step ahead. Right? A step ahead. You need to start manifesting. But if you don't believe in yourself, you have insecurities, your self-esteem ain't there, why the fuck would anything else believe? I don't know. Why the fuck would the universe do the work for you? You're saying, I don't believe in myself, but I believe I can create this. Well, how the fuck is that possible? Talk to me. Stubborn. Even though you know better, it's something about you just don't do it a little bit. You don't do it. You find yourself in the same position over and over again. So stubborn you are. you're not think okay, so you have something, there's something that holds you back a little bit. You put the fact that you want everyone to come to you for any and everything. You want people to come to you for any and every fucking thing, and you want to be able to be that person. You want people to come together on your behalf as well, and you want people to understand that or you also feel like you don't want anyone also to give up on you, as far as you being that person, that go-to person of the family, the go-to person for any needs, the go-to person for anything. You want everyone to continue to know that. You don't want anyone to even doubt you, and you also don't want anyone to see it. Right now, you could be just going through a lot. Like you're judging yourself, and but your judgment is clouded. You're very confused, and you're frustrated. You're not being honest with yourself about, as well as too, about people being able to come to you. Why would you think that it's fair that everyone can have somebody to come to, but you have no one that you can go to? And why would you think it's fair that and why would you think that it's something about people around you, they speak on your situation, or they speak on your money, they speak on your situation, or things like that, because they have a direct connection to you, to where they can just take from you, ask, things like that, and you don't even think twice about it, but you think twice about everything else. Or like, you put being seen a certain way or needed a certain way first. You remind people around you that you can be that person. You are that person. Talk to me about the game in reverse. You could be dealing with someone who's very needy. You might be needy. People around you are needy. Or, you might have a wife, a baby mama, and they're very needy, that they depend on your resources or sources, and that's who you feel like maybe you have to perform for. And right now, you have to focus on moving on, transitioning from this, because this is holding you back as well. Somebody is celebrating every single time you give up. Someone is celebrating every single time, and it might be more than one person. Someone is celebrating with other people as well, off of your failures, or like your inconsistencies, or like your confusion. Okay, you're going through a confusing time right now, and you're confused, and you can't do right. That's why you're stubborn. That's why I'm like, stubborn. And to be honest, I kind of don't feel like you're stubborn, whoever I'm talking to. But for some reason, you do actually come off as stubborn when you know the truth, you know the way that something's supposed to go, and you still choose for it to go another way, or you do the opposite. Like, if you know you need to save this amount of money to da-da-da, you completely like don't do that, but for some reason you still expect some type of fucking like result. you expect some type of like positive fucking result. But somebody is cheering every fucking time that you do this. Like, you create a delay for yourself because you're stubborn, because you're being stubborn. But the whole time, it's also because you're transitioning from this person. You're moving on. This cycle, it seems like a cycle is finally finishing and closing, finally closing and ending, but more like energetically. So you're either leaving, you're either transitioning and moving on from this now, or this is past energy. And even if it's past energy, if it's coming up again as well, it's also because there is something, and there's something that still needs to be learned that the cycle has to offer. There's like a fucking what is it? A learning sorry y'all. There's like not a test. There's something to be learned from this, and it's still something that you should know, and it's something that maybe needs to be revealed to you that you need to know, because then you'll have better understanding of everything that has come before you. The relationship is ending. Someone, it could be someone who's not really like a complete like mother figure. Okay, mothering. If I am talking to a woman here and I'm talking about a man instead of a woman, like a baby mama or something, then it's more so in their nurturing, their nurturing nature. How nurturing are they to our children, to you? Okay, men are supposed to be nurturing as fucking well. Okay, don't let that, I don't know what the fuck is going on. These days, the men are just a little too emotional, and the women are a little too masculine, right? But the and I'm not saying too emotional, because that's not really a thing. It's more so about trauma, okay? Emotions that stem from trauma that's unhealed, that is unhandled, okay? Things like that. But if you are a male, and if whoever I'm talking to, whoever I'm talking about, if the gender roles are reversed, clearly, if you know this is resonating with you, but it's a man, clearly then I'm talking about the feminine nature of the man, how nurturing they are. Someone isn't nurturing enough. Someone requires to be nurtured here, and someone isn't being nurturing enough. Some type of sacrifice is needed. The sacrifice that is needed might be this relationship. Whatever connection that there is with this relationship, there's a lot that comes with it on the spiritual side of things. And sometimes you have to think about protecting yours and yourself. And then you also have to think about what you are building and how it could be threatened. I'm not saying that you're not protected. I'm just saying that you do have to pay attention to things. And it's like not a joke, a little bit. And sacrifice might be needed overall, and sometimes it's okay to just take a step back and realize and say, damn, this might just really have to go. And it might hurt and it might suck, it might be some tears, but you accept it, because you were never supposed to be attached to permanence anyways. And so you have to be okay with receiving, experiencing, and being okay with, as well as letting it go. As something will come, you also have to be okay with letting it go. It's just how the world works. Shift your perspective, gain a new perspective. Instead of waiting around for shit, grab control and say, this is this and this is that. And I'm not waiting around for this and this is that. There's a lot of blaming going on. Somebody blames something for not going a certain way. Somebody blames something that is like, something's in a way of success here. Maybe there's a blame that this relationship is in the way of success. I could be talking to an Aquarius. Sagittarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius, energy heavy here. Jupiter, love, I think it's time we take a Cancer, Virgo, okay. There's still the opportunity to focus on your success is still here. Instead of thinking about being loyal to love, you might need to just be loyal to love with money, career, in the matrix. There's something about, you are not supposed to be so tied to the matrix. You need to figure out a different way. And like, if you are, you need to think about how that's not how you're supposed to live. Something tells me like you've just been living like on fucking robot mode. You're being guided. And you have been stubborn a little bit, because you have been saying, I see the guidance. I just don't want to go that way. I just don't know if I can do it that way. I just feel like that's not the way. And it's like, come on. The opportunity, you're going to miss it. The call, you keep being called to do something, and you're not answering the call. And it's like, why? This is what is making your happy home, your dynamic, your relationship. This is what's making it iffy. This is what's making the ground shaky a little bit. This is what's causing a little bit of an earthquake or whatever the fuck's going on in your home life. Because it's like, things happen. Like, this will be the final manifestation. Complete fucking happiness. All work is done. All healing. Everything's done. Everything is complete. A complete to live what? And as an everlasting life. So there's something that isn't working, because if something keeps having to be revisited, or there's a cycle and it keeps repeating, I mean constantly, that means that there's something that isn't working and that something can't be completed. What is stopping the completion? The what? Not being honest with yourself, being too critical, criticizing yourself, but it's not positive, and there's nothing to come. It's not constructive. Like, why the fuck would you tell yourself, oh, wow, if I did this differently, I would never do. Okay, but then nothing will pretty much exist either. So you want to go back to the drawing board, and that's where you rather be than go back to the drawing board. And it's kind of crazy, because even if you're going to keep telling yourself that, why not just sit there and accept the judgment, the calls that you did make, and pretty much be like, trust yourself. This is what I had to do. This is where I have to be. But not being honest with yourself, not clearly communicating even with yourself, it's crazy. Are you thinking about what's best for you or someone else, and not what matters? Oh shit. I feel like There's something here that energy is being put towards, and it's ruining you. It's defeating you because the energy is not supposed to be put there. There's a hold on you somewhere, somehow. Whatever cycle is being completed, I don't know if you're completing more than one cycle though, so that you could finally focus on you and get to you. What is the let's wrap this up. You need to think before you do. You haven't planned anything yet. So you just do, and you don't think before you do. The action that you take, it's just not real. Nothing's real. Nothing's real because you haven't made anything real. There you go. This was your reading. Peace.